Hello and welcome everyone, I'm Madals and today I am looking at a game from the ESET UK Masters 2013 finals. It's one of the games we didn't cast live, so it is going to be pretty special and pretty magical because I know what... Actually I don't. I can't remember what happens in this game. I think I know, but I'm not 100% sure. As in the result, that is, not what actually happens. I have no clue about that, so for all I know, Red could temple. But yes, let's get to the point. Let's introduce these two players in the top right position. From Team Liquid, spawning as the blue Zerg, it is Red. And his opponent down in the lower left, the red Protoss player from Team Fnatic, NightEnD. So these two are pretty good, as you may or may not know. NightEnD is a really cool Protoss player. Red is an awesome guy. I had the pleasure of hanging out with the Liquid guys after the tournament, and we had a couple of drinks in the bar after. Red can handle his drink like no man I have ever met. It was pretty impressive, I've got to say. He got in a drinking contest with a guy from the UK, from up north, which, if you know anything about the UK, you'll know that Northerners have generally there's a stereotype that they can handle their drink well, and both of them could indeed handle their drink very, very well. They ran the bar dry, and then were still fine. So, that was good times for them. Also, we do have NightEnD scouting. I should probably talk about the game, as opposed to the experiences after the bar. Maybe that should be a new series. Like, that could genuinely... Let me know in the comment section below. Do you think it would be a cool series to have, like, the after party of all these, like, events and things? I think some players might not like me filming it, though. And... That may not work, but still, it'd be a cool idea. Imagine like a Jersey Shore, but like the StarCraft Shore, or something like that. Anyway, the point being, we do have the probe coming down. We've got trying to just block off this hatchery, because ultimately, you know that the hatchery is going to be coming down soon as a Zerg player, and NightEnD just delaying it for a couple of seconds is irritating. It doesn't make a massive amount of difference, to be honest, and most pro players will do it with a scouting worker. But NightEnD, having gone for this Nexus first, obviously knows that the longer he delays this, the better he'll be economically. May even come down to try and harass the third, to be honest. It's not uncommon to see something like that go down. The Overlord coming in, sees there was a Nexus first, that's a good little scout there for Red, just knows that, hey, this is what you're doing. Guess I can be greedy. I need to take my third base probably in the next 40 seconds or so, around the 4-minute mark, just to make sure I stay there economically. Only 2 lings coming out, and it's always safe getting 2 lings. I don't like... Personally, I'm not a big fan of skipping the Zerglings completely, because if you get a pylon down here or something, it can be a complete nightmare, or a cannon rush or something like that. 2 lings can really put an end to this probe very, very effectively, and I think for the sake of just one less drone or one lava, it's always a good move to make it. The drone does manage to get down that hatchery. I was going to say that Nexus then. No, the drone gets down the third hatch, and it came down at, I believe, roughly, yeah, just before the 4-minute mark, so really nice and early on, and you always want to get that slightly sooner if you see the Nexus first build, because you want to stay a base up, and you need that better economy, especially if your natural has been delayed by a few seconds, because as we see, the Nexus and the natural hatchery also came down at pretty much identical points, so this is all looking good now for both players. Probably going to be a bit more of a longer macro game, at least with how things are going. Always possible though that one or both of, or at least NightEnD could go for some kind of big 2-base play, as opposed to trying to go for 3 bases. And let's actually just talk a little bit about strategy we could be seeing from NightEnD. Stargates, good, generally speaking, against Zerg at the moment. Immortal Sentry pushes, less common. Big Gateway pushes with a Mothership Core, very common on Daybreak. Especially a good Gateway push up into the third, because you can put a pylon down in multiple places around here. So basically, you just warp in, you push in. If you get surrounded by lings, guess what, you use mass recall. But it's not very easy for a Zerg player, because they can come in from this angle, but then of course you've got a narrow choke point here, which also is a very effective one. If they try and come around the back, it's a long way to go. And ultimately, for a Protoss player, if you knock out the hatchery, then brilliant, couldn't have gone much better for you. Even if you just do a little bit of damage, it's still great. If you get completely surrounded, which is really worst case scenario, you just mass recall out and take maybe a couple of Stalker losses. That's really worst case. So very low risk, but potentially high reward, which is why it's such a popular strategy from a lot of the pro players. And you can tech up behind it as well. As long as you don't go for, say, like 7 gates, you can still make sure that you get out tech or an expansion even. And the 5 gates are really, really quite common. So, not what we're going to be seeing though. NightEnD getting down his robotic facility, choosing to tech up quite nicely. One gate into the robo, really, really tech focused. Mothership Core not yet started though, and that's the only thing which is a bit more unusual. You tend to see a Mothership Core at about this point. Usually when you get saturation at your natural base, a lot of Protoss players will choose to get the core down. It allows you to take a quick third due to photon overcharge, and the earlier you get it as well, the earlier you get that photon overcharge, which is very, very helpful. But as we can see, Rhett, he's droning. And that's really all Rhett has done so far. This game has made a lot of drones. He does have some gas income. Should start Lair. There we go. So Lair gets started up. And yeah, he's just going to drone pretty much solidly to about 70, I'd imagine, before he gets anything else at all. Because there's no real need for it. You know your opponent's gone very economical. Sending in the Overlord, sees that there's 4 gates. So what's coming out here? It is going to be an Immortal. And as I said, Immortal sentry pushes are less common. There are sentries. There are 4 gateways. And there's +1, which is very much looking like it could be an Immortal sentry push. The other Overlord being sacrificed in as well, because Red really wants to get a clear read on this. What has he actually seen? So he knows that these gateways are down, he knows that the robotics facility is down. He hasn't seen, as far as I'm aware, that the Forge was researching. That's the only thing he's missed. So if you could see that, that would obviously be a big win for him. Still more drones coming out, though. Zergling speed is now getting started. We'll probably see, well, potentially a Rotron, but he's gone up to 4, now 6 gas, so it could also be Mutalisks. That is another good option, and very, very strong against Protoss, especially if you know there's not a Stargate or anything down. And it's also another good option when you haven't seen a Rotron get thrown down at all. And yep, we're going to see the Spire, so it will be Mutas. And this is a safe build, as I said, when you know there's not a Stargate. 4 additional gateways are in production now, so this is very much a 2-base all-in. Proxy pylons, 1 coming down at the bottom of the map. We do also have the mothership core moving across. The Zergling desperate to try and scout out where is this proxy pylon. Gonna miss it though because it's a bit further out than you usually see. NightEnD probably gonna move forward and take another one, but look at this, lots of Zerglings on the field. The Spire is about a quarter done, and the reason these Zerglings are being so proactive in trying to scout out the pylons is because ultimately they need to make sure that it doesn't go down. That's how you stop this push. You push against it very, very early on, and if you don't allow a proxy pylon, reinforcements take too long. It's still a difficult hold, but it's a lot more achievable. If proxy pylons do get out though, it becomes exceptionally difficult. We've got the sentries on their way down, and the sentries are going to get focused. NightEnD desperately not trying to use any more force fields, because if you use the force fields too early, you do run into some problems. Lots of spine callers getting thrown down. Red knows precisely what he's got to deal with now. He's also got 11, nearly 12,000 gas here, so he can start off with a lot of mutalisks. And if they get out with so few stalkers on the field, they will be very, very effective. But Red has to make sure he survives. He's coming around the back. He wants to pick up these proxy pylons, which is key, because the Warp Prism is not over yet. There is one in production, so it will be coming to help. And we see the first proxy pylon does get taken down. NightEnD also supply block there. Good little snipe off, and all Red is trying to do is delay. He is doing a great job of it. Heavily supply block from NightEnD now. He also has not yet started another pylon. Only starting one, there's the second one. So this is a big, long period of time supply blocking. 16 mutalisks are coming down. This defense should be a lot easier now with these mutas and the spine crawlers there. And of course the counterattack going to be oh so quick. This is not something the NightEnD is going to want to see. So many mutalisks there, waiting for the push to come closer. Force fields are no good against mutas either. What's going to get focused? The Warp Prism should get taken down, preventing the reinforcements. Very nicely done there by Red. Pushing in at just the right time. Now pulling back. He knows this push probably won't go ahead because there's the mutas there. The Zerglings coming in to soak up some of the fire from the sentries. The sentries getting focused down very quickly. This is a lovely way to deal with this by Red, and as we can see, he is going to clean up this push pretty much effortlessly. We do see the mass recall go down as well. Meanwhile though, this is going to be a counter push. Lot more mutalisks coming in. No upgrades for the mutalisks yet though. +1 flyer attack just starting as I say it though, so always cursor casting my way through. And with these pylons getting sniped off, NightEnD is going to get quite frustrated by this, and he can lose quite a lot. Losing a bit of production capability, getting supply blocked as well. That in itself is very, very frustrating. Red being able to take the 4th base because mutalisks provide you with map control. And if you've got map control and map dominance, you can take expansions. Push forward, expand behind. One probe will see this though. This probe being allowed to live. It's almost like, don't kill the messenger, allow him returning to the king to tell him just how far ahead Red is getting. Taking a double expansion now. Oh, Red. Being 1 base up is not enough. You want to be 3 bases up, and that is how you roll. And it is always good to see the Stalkers are a bit out of position to come and defend this. Blink is not done. It's not even started. There's no Twilight Council down. That makes dealing with these mutalisks even harder. There's no Stargate or anything like that. So these mutas can just be very proactive, running around the map, trying to find little angles of attack anywhere and everywhere. Do see that a lot of units are out of position here. Red could just play straight into this, takes out a probe. There is no third coming down here. Stalkers getting taken out. Anything you kill without losing a mutalisk is always good. Mutalisks with their increased health regeneration in Heart of the Swarm, very good at this harassment heavy style. But the Twilight Council is just coming down at the moment. One muta getting a bit lost. will take some damage, but the Stalkers, the sentries are slightly out of position. The sentry goes down near instantly there. +1 air weapons is 3/4 complete, and just the muta count is getting exceptionally high. 23 on the field, up against just 24 Stalkers. A head-on engagement would go in Red's favour now, especially after the +1's complete. 1/1 upgrades are done for NightEnD at the moment, and he's moving forward. He's going to go for some aggression, but as we're seeing, the +1/1 melee attack and armor upgrades also on the way down for Red. He's got the +1 air missiles done any second, so once he moves in there, he'll be in a good spot. NightEnD is really committing to this. He knows he doesn't have a third base. He knows he has to win here, but he's down in supply. The Stalkers are falling back. Guardian Shield trigger. The sentry count only at 2. There's like a couple of force fields max, and that just means that these Zerglings can be so effective should NightEnD decide to move forward, and he's trying to bait a couple more force fields. Look at this spine wall. Such a good position for Red to be in. He's about to go over 30 mutalisks. That is an insanely high position. He'll actually go up to 35. And he's got even more in production. So, NightEnD doing the one thing, and the one thing he can do, and that is go Dark Shrine if behind. Red sitting comfortably at 74 workers, and has been for a long period of time. He's just pumping so many units, he's maxed out, he's moving forward, there goes down the force, but there's only 2. Red pulling back preemptively, and that's because so many Guardian Shields are being forced here. We do have more Zealots warping in, just trying to deal with those Zerglings, but so many Mutalisks, and they're coming towards the main base as well. Are they arching around? Are they just going to go for the engagement? They are. Stutter Step Micro out of these Mutas here for Red, just picking off any and every single stalk he can. Gets the Mothership Core as well. That's a big loss. That means no mass recall is available. In unto itself, that is a big drawback, because you need those mass recalls so desperately. But in comes Red now, pushing straight over. He's got the +1 air weapons, the 1/1 ground weapons, and carapace done as well. And as we're seeing, just so much damage going down here. This is great news for the absolutely lovely player Red, and we're seeing NightEnd's army just vaporize before our very eyes. Still 24 Mutalisks down, and with that, GG is called, and game 1 will go to Red. So congratulations to him. I hope you all enjoyed that game. Remember, like the video, leave a cool comment, and of course subscribe, and I'll see you at game 2 any second. I'm Madals, see you there.